All right, folks, it's National Tight End Week. No, we don't just have a day. It's National Tight End Week. And my goodness, I don't even know how I'm sitting down right now. We got the tight ends. We got the fellas in. Colston Loveland, AJ Barner, Max Bredeson. Before we get into it, please make sure you visit championscircleufm.com. This is the NIL era. Support your team, support your athletes. Again, that's championscircleufm.com to find out how you can support your players, your teams, your favorite student athlete, so we can just keep celebrating National Tight End Day. I mean, you guys saw the performance this past weekend. Fellas, was this planned? Like, what was going on out there? You guys went off for National Tight End Day.
No plan at all. It was just God doing his thing.
Amen.
Yeah, the ball was finding the boys and the blocking too, of course. Never forget about that. So we're just doing our job and taking care of business.
I kind of want to get into that right away, Max, because as I was thinking about what I wanted to ask you, I wanted the chance to describe the feeling, because I think, fans get excited for the touchdowns and everything, but what's that? Because you play a little bit of fullback, right? Like you play a little bit of fullback and you pull around and you get a running start and you meet some of these guys. Can you describe the feeling when you get a running start and you put the crown of your helmet right underneath the dude's chin? You feel their head snap back and their spit fly around. What is that? What's that like?
That's a good feeling. I love doing it. It's especially fun when the guy behind you running it is really good. Makes the job pretty easy. But no, it's fun playing like downhill football. It's just like as fast as you can go, as long as you can. So it's a lot of fun.
I did some research on, and I know PFF is, hey, PFF is a good tool. It's a data point for sure. But the boys are blocking now. The fellows are blocking their asses off, dude. So for AJ Colston, what's it like in the room when someone has a killer block? What do you guys get more fired up for a touchdown, or is there an appreciation for the dirty work as well when someone, knocks somebody on their ass?
No, there's definitely, I would say they're equal for sure. If there's a good block, a Michigan block, we'd call it, where you're putting someone on their back, then yeah, you definitely get praise when we're watching film for sure.
Yeah, I think you got to have a little bit of both. We play a position where you better block and you better catch the ball. And if you want the ball, you better block for it. So I think Coach Noose does a good job of that, and we take pride in that.
Yeah, man, it's kind of related too. Like, as long as you can block, the play actions work. And if you can block, the play actions work better. And I always say, I make this point all the time in terms of mismatches. And maybe this is me selling the position, but hey, man, the guys that guard tight ends are linebackers and safeties. And I know if you're a linebacker, you got to have run support, so your first priority is support the run. Well, if you can run the ball well, the guys guarding you, they got to focus on the run. And it helps in a sense to be able to block and run the football. So it's really beautiful to watch you guys play, man. Seriously, it gets me so fired up. And AJ, I kind of wanted to ask you something because, dude, you bleed maize and blue. It's clear as day, man. You're part of the squad, of course, but you didn't commit here, right? It was a journey to get here. And I'm wondering, why Michigan? Why did you choose to join this team here when you made your decision to transfer to Michigan?
Yeah, I think just like the culture, like you said, I fit this place. Like I should have. I mean, I'm super grateful for my time at Indiana, but like I think that I really fit this place. And like you mentioned, it was probably because I couldn't come to a place like this coming out of high school. Like I was under-recruited, didn't get an offer until after my junior year. So I didn't really have the opportunities that some other people might have. And when I was at Indiana, I was with Coach Hart, and, he recognized my talent. And I think that was definitely a big part in me coming here just because he knew what I was capable of. And, yeah, I think it's been great to fit in with these boys. I think we fit in well, and, yeah, it's been awesome.
Of course you fit in. I mean, dude, the tight ends they're the bridge between the receivers and the O-line and the quarterback. Like, man, you got to fit in, man. The tight ends are the bridge to the team, of course. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, I feel like I would say bridge to the team, but also like I mean, we definitely get love, but it's like, yeah, like you said, it's like, yeah, we're offensive linemen, but we're also receivers. So yeah, I guess we got to connect with a lot of different guys.
Yeah, I think too, like,
but it's fun. I mean, I love it.
You get the swag of a receiver and a tight end. You get the grit of an O-lineman. So like we'll bang out the country music, but we'll throw on the rap music also.
That's right.
Lift it up a little bit.
So like, I think that's what, on and off the field.
Who writes the captions? I've been wanting to ask this for a while because the IG captions are fire for the team. Like who's writing the who comes up with these captions? Is it an individual thing?
Yeah, I would say it's an individual thing. Obviously.
Are you talking about on you, Mish? Like,
no, you guys' personal pages. I'm like, dang, bro, you guys are sauced up on the captions.
Yeah,
Orgy's got a bunch of good ones.
Oh, yeah, Alex. Shout out Orgy. Orgy's got some good ones.
Or just throw on your favorite Drake song and listen for 3 minutes and find something.
Okay, I figured that might play a picture. Well, in honor of Max wearing green, I did want to ask you, and I'd love to hear each of you guys' opinion. Because I think fans love this kind of thing. You're on the road in East Lansing. What's that bus ride home like? What when you get Paul? Could you give us a behind the scenes look of what's it like to go play your rival on the road and leave with the victory?
The bus ride home was pretty fun. That's probably the most fun bus ride I've been a part of. I won't take all the stories. I'll let you guys get some, but we were putting glasses on Paul Bunyan. Like everyone's taking good pictures with him. Just telling stories about the game. There's just this funny stuff we can't go too far into, but you know what I mean? No, that was a blast. That's something like I'll always remember. I don't know what these guys got, but there's some good stuff going on.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of brought me back to like, those high school days, just the glory days with all the boys after a good win. We were playing country music, just singing as loud as we can, just having a good time. It was a damn good time.
Yeah, it was fire. I mean, I don't know what else I could say. It was good feeling to go up there and beat them by 50 and then, short bus trip back home with the boys. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, I just talked about karaoke.
Yeah, and karaoke.
Coaches singing karaoke.
we were making the most out of the bus ride, that's for sure.
Of course. No, I just think I think for fans to just kind of like describe that feeling, it's those are the moments, man. And I think of that game, and it's a beautiful thing, without getting too deep in it. It's an emotional game. It's an emotional rivalry, and like I said this time and time again, it's built on hatred. Like, look. Boys in blue hate the boys in green, and it's vice versa. And everyone shakes the hand and knows what you're signing up for. And my God, does that lead to a beautiful feeling when you're on the right side of it, man. That feeling on the way home is like a high on life that you don't get. And you work all year to earn that. So it's not lost on the team and the players. So super great job for you guys. I wanted to ask you now, because it was National Tight End Day. Did you do anything to celebrate over the weekend? Or, of course, I mean, you celebrated in the end zone a couple times, but what'd you guys do to celebrate the holiday?
Balled out. We left the game at like 12 o'clock or probably like 11:30. Got back at 12:30. By that point, it was a little bit not much to do. But I think the bye week this week, maybe we'll have to celebrate a little bit more just because we didn't get much in. But honestly too, though, like we're locked in right now. Like we're getting onto that stretch where it's like go time. So National Tight End Day was great, but let's make it every weekend from here on out.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Love that.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was, just as a fan, as a watcher of the game, it just seems like the team and of course you guys caught my attention, but just how well you guys played, it feels like this team's on a mission, just super aligned from top down. And of course, what you just said there, AJ, sums that completely up. You mentioned you are on a bye week. This is one of those moments for, the viewers, the fans. Hey, what's a bye week like? What do you guys got planned? How is it different from a regular week in the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't got a game, so definitely prepping for Purdue. Can obviously never overlook a team. Always got to respect each team. But this gives us a chance to kind of look a little more ahead on some other teams. If you think you know what I'm talking about, and then also just kind of get the body right. You know, it's been a long couple weeks, kind of just get healthy, and then just lock in on the details, the little things.
Man, Ryan Walters is a phenomenal coach. You know, you guys saw that last year. I mean, when he was the defensive coordinator at Illinois, man, that dude knows how to coach some football. So absolutely, you gotta give the respect where it's due to Coach Walters. What do you guys? I mean, do you do anything fun though? Like, what do you still practice? For those that don't know, I mean, just if you could take it as someone that has no clue, hey, you don't have a game this week. What really changes?
I think maybe you focus a little bit more on the little things that go into making the plays that we made this weekend, a little bit more individual time with your position coach, working on first steps, top of the route, and like cleaning up those little details that sometimes you forget about once you get 8 weeks into the season and you're, most of the time just working on plays for other opponents that you're going to run. So I think the bye week is also good for that kind of stuff also.
Yeah. It's also good to like check in on like what you've been good at so far and like what you still got to work on. It's like for us, we're at a good spot. Like it's almost halfway through the season where you get to like a good checkpoint of what can we get better at? Like what have I done well so far? Like what's the team going to look at me to do in a game? Like how can we catch them off guard? Stuff like that you can like really get a jump on a team for the next couple weeks we play.
Also gives us a chance to go home and see the family too.
Yeah, I'm going.
So always got to see the family. Got to stay in touch with those guys. But so it'll be good for sure.
Man, so I think that's the biggest thing is you guys just laid it perfectly out. But like, hey, you got to exhale a little bit and like take a big picture view of, hey, where we at? It just kind of slows down, man. The season rolls. You play a game. You come in on Sunday for treatment, and by Monday, you're kind of turning the page. Like you're reviewing the tape. Tuesday, you're practicing. It's time for the next week. Like it rolls. You don't have the chance to exhale, really. So the bye week is a chance to just, hey, slow down. Where are we at? What are we good at? Where can we improve upon? Colston, I heard a story because Coach Harbaugh told me when he was when you were being recruited, you were the man back home, Idaho, right?
208. Shout out Idaho.
Yeah, what's going on? So you're going back home to Idaho? What do you got planned out there?
I'm still debating if I'm gonna go home or not because it's a long trip. There's no nonstop flight, so I'd probably be there for a little over 30 hours. But if I do go home, definitely just see the fam, eat at some of those good spots back home in old Gooding, Idaho. That's really it.
What's the cuisine like out there in Idaho?
Man, we got whatever you need. We'll fill your need. There's some good Mexican restaurants.
Red meat?
Yeah, they got the meats out there.
Lots of meats, a lot of cows.
Yeah, I'm a big meat guy, man. I'll tell you what, like
can't beat it.
Yeah. Yep. I am a big meat guy. You know what I mean? I like the red meat. All right, hey, I like it.
How do you like it cooked?
Hey, medium rare plus if I can get it. I like it
a little bloody.
Medium rare plus. I like a medium rare plus, man. But hey, because I grew up in I played for the Broncos, right? So we would all those connecting states. I spent some time in Yellowstone. We drove through Idaho. Hey, shoot, I was just in Nebraska last weekend. We get the grass-fed cattle out there, and I'll tell you what, man, they know how to raise meat out there in the West. So I know the deal. Okay, so Max, I wanted to ask you something real quickly because this came up in our crew's coaching meetings about the changing moment of the game of, hey, no more cut blocks. No more cut blocks. When I was with the Broncos, we had a guy by the name of Andy Janovich, phenomenal at cut blocks. Coach Harbaugh, he was just hired, and we were scouting a team. I can't remember who it was, but they played Nebraska. Our whole hour meeting was completely abandoned to watch Andy Janovich cut block highlight tapes when he was at Nebraska. But now, like, the rules say you can't really cut block. So do you remember, because when you got there, when you came to Michigan, if I'm not wrong on this, cut blocks were legal. And since you've got there, they've been banned. Is that true? And then how does that affect your duty kind of in some of the role that you have within the team?
Yeah. So like doing a bunch of the fullback stuff, like if you look at like the NFL, you see like fullbacks, like almost everything they do, they try and cut. but you can only do it in the box. But like college, they completely got rid of it. So it's like all shoulder, just one-on-one. Like I kind of like it. These guys know that I kind of love that. And like for me, it's you get to see how bad like someone wants to play for 4 quarters, just like shoulder to shoulder, like 2 guys going at it, 2 Rams, coach likes to say. But it definitely changed the game. I think for the better. Like getting cut, like a lot of bad things can happen. But like it's good for the guy cutting, bad for the guy getting cut. But I guess I'm kind of a fan of just going shoulder to shoulder and just see who wins that matchup every time.
And defense can't cut either, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads me into my next question here. Because I agree. So your tight end coach is Grant Newsome. And probably like, man, it's hard for the average person to follow all the names, but like Grant Newsome is a guy that I think the average Michigan fan, if you really care about the team, should know a Grant Newsome, and because of what he's done as a coach. And what we're talking about comes up because I played with Grant Newsome, and I was wondering if you guys knew his story and what he went through as a player and kind of his journey to where you guys you guys are at as a tight end room with him being your coach.
Yeah, I kind of got to see like because he played with my brother, and I was just like a kid. I don't even know. We might have met that day. Like I just remember like the day that it happened, like how at first you just hear about like a knee injury, but then like how serious it got for him and like everything that he went through, especially with like an injury like the cut. But like for what he's done and like in the game, how much he loves the game and like how like bright of a mind he is, for him to like step away from playing and to climb the ranks so fast, like and like extremely intelligent person, like outside of football, and like having such like a great mind in the game. It's like truly incredible to have.
Yeah, I think the man's an absolute guru. And then sometimes also it's like Coach News, it's like he's not a perfectionist, but it's like he will grade you hard. And like sometimes like we'll be in the meeting, like watching the tape, and like you'll see a minus on the film, and like I'll look at C-Love or Brett and be like, yo, like, how is that a minus, dog? Like not in a bad way,
Yeah.
but it's just like he just grades you hard. And I think that's what makes us like really good players, is that our coach, like he's gonna compliment you like when you make big plays, but like there's always stuff that you can get better at.
Yep.
I think part of that too, man, and what I'm hearing from you guys is coach believes in you. You know, like the other piece, like coach is not gonna he sees the standard is so damn high, and he's like, why would what do you mean? I'm not gonna give you a pity plus here. And like, so you gotta strive for that, right?
Settle for nothing less, for sure. He's got super high expectations, and you got to respect that.
Why would it be any other way, man? Why would it be other? Because you guys have proved it. Like you guys have proved it. The ceiling has been set at this point. It's sky damn high. So like, why would you ever sell that short? Max, you kind of highlighted this. Like so for our Michigan fans, like I would just challenge you to go back and learn this story, because it was a gruesome knee injury. Grant was told by our trainers at the time, hey, don't walk off the field. It was a Wisconsin game in 2016, I want to say. And Grant was told, hey, man, this is not good. Like, don't walk off the field. And Grant, dude, tough as damn nails. And I know you guys got to appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Said,
no, man, I'm walking off the field. And like, dude walked off the field and up the tunnel before they finally figured out. I mean, look, they checked someone had the awareness to check for a pulse in his foot to realize like, oh, wow, there's some serious damage here. And things started to unfold from there. And, you know, Grant spent a lot of time in that recovery. That, man, that's so rare. And then to go from that to be able to quickly pivot. And I've dealt with injuries in my career. Like I didn't, you know, to have the amount of clarity that dude had at that moment to say, no, I want to coach. And Coach Harbaugh highlighted him recently to say, you know, hey, this guy is next up. Like this guy is in line. He is ascending. For you guys, even like just that have been with him, what have you seen from his growth in terms of his leadership within the room?
The biggest thing is like he isn't ever satisfied. Like he learns things like that. Like it's high level football for us, but like in my case, like the fullback stuff, like not a lot of people do it. Not a lot of people like know a lot about it, but he finds stuff to like help me get better in a role like he's never done. Not like technically his like title either. Like he's the tight ends coach, but he still knows. He gives me everything I can do to be successful, and it's like incredible how much he knows without ever like taking a step into the backfield.
Yeah, I feel like we're hitting it earlier too, like all the little things too. Like he's really just like, he'll bring up day one stuff now all the time, and it's kind of like some people might think like, oh, I know it, but he's always keeping us sharp on everything, and that's why I think he's just such a great coach.
Yeah, and I think also too, like it was February when I first got here, January, February, March when I first got here, and he's like having optional meetings for like me and like some of the other guys. Like, yo, if you want to go over the playbook, I'm here like Tuesday, Thursday, whenever you need. And he's always willing to go that extra mile for us. So I think, that makes it a lot better also.
God, man, every time I talk to you guys, it just gets me so fired up, just understanding kind of the state of the program and the sacrifice, because like, hey, man, it literally is optional. You don't show up, no problem. He doesn't like it's optional. That's what it is. But the willingness and the sacrifice of a coach, it just always blows me away. And the willingness and sacrifice for a team to say, hey, man, like, hey, we have some goals we want to pursue. I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys generally in the spirit of National Tight End Week. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat. And I think of, I'm watching Rob Gronkowski highlights earlier, and I'm looking at the way that dude played ball, just a freaking beast. And I'm looking at obviously the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce situation. Different tight ends. Different tight ends. And I was curious to hear all three of your opinions on, what makes a good tight end.
Yeah. I mean, first off, I think, it starts a lot with the mindset of just, like, obviously it's not as mentally challenging as a quarterback because I got covered a lot of coverage responsibility, footwork in the run game and everything. But like, I mean, we got to know just about as much. So it's like, first, you got to be dedicated to your job, and then you also just got to want it more than the guy across from you in the run game, especially, and in the pass game. So I think just becoming a complete tight end in every area, that's what makes a great tight end.
Yeah, and I think like just being a diligent worker also, because like nobody grows up playing tight end. If you're the best player on your team in 7th grade, like coach isn't putting you at tight end. You're going to play quarterback or something else. So I think being able to pick up different things, and Colston mentioned it, you better be able to pass block. You better be able to run block. You better be able to run routes against safeties, linebackers, block some of the highest paid dudes in the NFL. So I think, just being a complete all-around player is extremely important at the position.
Yeah, I'd say like there's so many situations a tight end gets put in where he's like he doesn't have the advantage. Like he said, like you're blocking guys who are the highest paid in the league. Like you're not supposed to win that matchup, but you always do. Say that, and then like just having like the willingness to just like run into someone at full speed, like just like give someone else everything you got, and like see how bad he wants to play.
They ever, Max? Did they ever track your GPS on a slide? Like, what's the fastest you ever ran into somebody?
My roommate, one of the roommates works for the strength staff, and he said like my get off speed was like on the one versus Indiana or I forget what
it was Indiana.
Rutgers. Then we ran. Yeah, it was one of those. He said it was like the fastest play I've had all season.
Was like, it was power, right? Like it was front side double team. You pulled someone right and kicked them out. Yeah.
Just get downhill play. Football play right.
Were you driving? You were driving to the sidelines right. It was like later in the game, right?
With the Indiana one? Yeah.
Oh, Rutgers. I thought you said Rutgers. Sorry.
Oh, the Rutgers one was the one I was talking about before, but the Indiana one, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. But hey, this is a funny thing because, like, obviously I work in sports media, and the clear thing is like Brady Quinn, Matt Leinart, freaking Kirk Herbstreit, Joe Klatt. It's all quarterbacks. So as I was like selling myself to get the job, I was like, guys, hey, and Greg Olsen is doing a good job. Like it's coming around. Tony Gonzalez. I'm like, dude, I think honestly, tight ends may know as much maybe if not more in a sense as quarterbacks. Listen, quarterback is quarterback. I don't want to be misinterpreted here, but like, hey man, you got to know the O-line's blocking scheme too. You know, like you got to know where the doubles are. Hey, you got to play receiver, slot, solo receiver, outside, fullback, max. Like you got to do a little bit of everything. What's it like learning the playbook? Like when I learned the playbook, I would always like approaching that. I literally learned like I didn't ever say Y or F or Z or X or anything. I would just learn the concept of the play generally. So that way I knew I'd be out on the field. Do you guys have any like principles on how you learn a playbook?
Yeah, I think like you hit it, like just knowing the concept as a whole instead of, because you know as tight ends we're put at field 1, 2, 3 all over the field like you were saying. So it's like know the concept as a whole. But yeah, for my first ever college meeting coming in, I came early in the spring. Man, my head was going in circles just listening to all the terminology and everything. But now, obviously, shout out to Coach Noose that does a great job coaching and helping you understand it. But it all makes sense.
Yeah, I think also too, like just how great the room is. Like we have personnel that like if you're the best at running an out route, you're gonna run that. If you're the best at kicking out a DN, like you're gonna do that on that play. So obviously we have to know the whole playbook, but we're able to personnel things so that hey, like you're not gonna have to do every single thing that the tight end's required to do in this game. If you're the best at it, then you're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like everybody like in the room gets put in like a position to succeed, like do their things. Like it's cool for me to watch. Like I'll be in the backfield and pass pro, and then like watch one of these guys run like a 12-yard comeback or like a deep over. I'm like, that's a lot of like that's 6'5" run down the field on someone who has no business trying to run with that. Like it's cool, like seeing different parts of the playbook used by different people. I'd say.
Man, I can't help but get so fired up just hearing that, just like the sacrifice. And like the coolest thing about being able to talk with you guys and the O-line, the D-line, whatever the position groups is like everyone says that, like everyone is aware of their job, like they're hyper focused on their job, but like aware of the challenge of everyone's job around them. And it's like, hey man, are you playing because you're next to the guy beside you, or are you playing for the guy beside you? And it's like every team stresses that and says it and like, hey, here's our principles. But we can see it when you turn on the tape. You can see it and you can feel it. You guys feel that in the locker room where it's like, man, man, I want to win so bad because I respect you so much. Where does that start if that's the case?
I think
workouts.
Yeah, I mean, just starts within the program, and Coach Harbaugh, I think, just does a great job building the culture and gets people in there that all have similar mindset and similar goals and aspirations. And I mean, yeah, like our team, I don't obviously know what other teams look like, but our team is just so close, tight knit, and just so close from specialists to quarterbacks to DBs to tight. Like it's crazy, but we're just super blessed to have that for sure.
Listen, man, I know you. So you guys are on your bye week, so I want to wind it down here and let you guys get going. But you said some interesting things where Colston, you mentioned as an early enrollee where you were at as a with a playbook and how fast things felt to where you are now. AJ being a veteran guy, played at a couple places. Max, you played a lot of football in your career. As we wind this down, I'm just curious if you guys could kind of touch on it because I think it's a big thing. People talk about. When you go to the NFL, they say, hey, you're drafting a tight end. They'll get it in year 3. It takes a little bit of time. We've kind of hinted at the mental side. What's been some of the biggest growth within the position for each of you guys, if you could please answer, from when you walked on campus to where you are now?
Let you start.
So I literally walked on as a 215-pound quarterback. They told me that 2 weeks before I got here I was going to play tight end. Walked on like thinking I played quarterback. I'm smart at football. Like I know I'll be fine. Tight end, there's a lot to know. So that hit me in the face right away, learning the playbook. And then I kind of just over time found my role of like doing what I do in the backfield. I'd say last year is where I really found it, about like halfway through the season, something like I could be good at. But like that's still like me being young. And this year I really put on the weight. Like Played last season around 225. This season, like 240. Feel like a lot stronger out there. Like I know where people are going to be before they're there and stuff like that. Like a year of playing with a year with Coach Herb, like a lot of good things can happen. So,
hey man, what kind of like what disease did you get to be a quarterback that loves to just freaking lick a linebacker on a kick out block? What happened?
Wisconsin made.
I'd say you know my brothers. As a kid, they beat up on me pretty bad, and when I'd go play football as a kid, like if you took the ball out of my hand on like my highlight film, you'd think I was blocking. Like I was looking for contact, and I'd always joke with my friends like, "Oh, I should have played fullback," and like comes out now like this is everything I dreamed of. So
that's awesome.
It's that high school quarterback when it's just 4th and 1, you just run that QB power. You're the best player in the field.
Literally.
Run it down somebody's throat. But I think me, for my growth, I guess I could just talk about, since I've been here at Michigan. When I was at Indiana, I was kind of, I guess, more so like people, like whenever I would do media or whatnot, people would always like comment on, how I was running routes and that my blocking, like how my blocking was going, because nobody really thought of me as a blocker. And then with coming here, I think that's one thing that I've improved so much that like I really feel like I can block anyone in the country because of Coach Noose and because of the defensive guys that we go up against every day in practice that are absolute dogs. And like when I got here in the spring, there was definitely blocks where I was like, yo, like I've never been asked to do this before. I don't know if I can do this. And then it got to the point where in fall camp, I think one thing that was, really hard on me is I had a soft tissue injury where it was like I couldn't really run routes at all. And for 2 weeks, C-Love was my roommate in the hotel. Definitely shout out my boy for helping me. Not that I was in a bad place, but, having my guy to rely on going through that. But there was 3 weeks there where I was just in there just straight up blocking. And I think that helped me a lot because of the guys that I was going up against and because of my coaches. So, yeah.
What was some of those blocks?
What was that?
What was like an example of the block?
Like Chris Jenkins on a base block when like he's just like, yeah, me versus Chris. And like,
how that is.
Yeah. And then like during spring ball,
good
like,
fucking good luck, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And during spring ball, it was like, yo, like if I have to do this, like I might as well turn around and be like, coach, like I can't do this. But
if you're 300 pounds, you could say that, right? Like, yeah.
But no, I feel like, I definitely can do that now.
You can do it with this guy.
So,
yeah.
Everybody got to see like Michigan State with him like last week. But like if you go back and look at the film of this guy blocking like this guy was playing really good football.
280, 290 DNs, digging them out. I think for my growth, every aspect has obviously grown so much. But I think like one thing that stands out is like just the knowledge of the game. And like coverages and just knowing like where I need to be, finding the zone. And I think that's just, another tribute to the coaches and Coach News just kind of really locking us in on that. But like, yeah, I know so much more about football now than I did when I stepped on campus a year ago or whatever. And that's helped me a lot.
And the game slows down, like the belief increases, like the role that you accept just perpetuates that, man. It's phenomenal. I think it's the coolest thing in the world, man, to have the chance to talk to you guys and to see it to come to fruition too. Like AJ, man, I've dealt with the injuries. Like I know what that's like what, and to have your boys to lean on in that, like that's the coolest thing. Like that's the best part about sports, man. And then you get to go out there and to win and see it all come to fruition. I really hope you guys have an awesome bye week to be able to soak that all in and refocus, because the sky's the limit, man. There is no limit for you fellas. Just, watching across the country, man, the sky is the limit. And for our viewers, I think this is one of the coolest times, because I know I'm not alone in realizing how special the people we have in the program are. And the chance to support these guys, championscircleufm.com. You can get more information on this stuff. And the coolest thing about NIL is it's a community. Like it's a community in what we're building here. So check that website out. support these dudes. We'll enjoy you guys as long as you're here until you move on to the NFL. But would be nice for the Michigan fans for the next generation to come through. So, guys, it's been awesome celebrating National Tight End Week with you. Congratulations on another great win. Hope you have an awesome bye week, and talk to you guys soon, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you
Jake.
for paving the way for the boys.
Yeah.
Love it.
You guys are awesome, man.
Hey, we know you can run a dirty thumb route.
Hey, come on, baby. Let's go, man. That's my route. Hey, I actually did a breakdown. I took the crew when we called your Bowling Green game. I told them, here's the thumb route right here. Here's why. Hey, here's why you need Max to give the bloody. Hey, did Harbaugh ever talk to you about the bloody flat?
No. I wish I have.
Oh, dude. So you're talking about the Don corner, the inside, the fake over corner with the post outside, but that doesn't work unless the fullback, it's a bloody flat because the will linebacker can drop underneath that.
Yep.
Fullback has to come smack the linebacker. We call it a bloody flat because you got to hit him and draw blood in his teeth and then get out to the flat. So you got to have the bloody flat, man. Then it all works together. So it perfectly sums up our call here. We all work together, baby.
Like you're an Ohio guy. You're from Columbus. How'd you end up at Michigan?
Man, to be fully honest with you, man, I grew up an Ohio State fan. Like, I thought I was going to go to Ohio State and Ohio State didn't offer me. I was getting a bunch of offers and they didn't offer me. And my first ever recruiting visit was like Michigan, Notre Dame under the lights. And it was like a historic game. I don't know if you remember, Denard Robinson hit Roy Roundtree in the end zone. And I was like, whoa, this place is special. And kind of over the course of the season, I fell in love with the program. And it kind of became a pretty clear decision for me at that time where I needed to go. And then like kind of my first 2 years, like things, we were 7-6, 5-7. We weren't great. Like I didn't have anything explosive. And I still remember the day, like I was at Chipotle getting like a beefy burrito, trying to gain the weight, keep the weight on, and got the notification on my phone that Jim Harbaugh was going to be the next coach. And I was like, whoa, good time to be a tight end at Michigan. It kind of cooked from there, man. So it was awesome.
That is awesome.
Won the Mackey too. Just didn't want to recruit the guy who won the Mackey.
Yeah. That's a whole nother story, man. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But
we might have to get you on a podcast sometime.
Yeah, we should do the roles reversed for sure. I mean, dude, look, they got to do what is it? The tight end of the year award for the Big Ten. They just got to give it to the fellows in Ann Arbor, the whole group.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to somebody about it.
We'll take the Natty Championship or a Big Ten Championship over that.
Trust me. I know exactly. So you guys keep doing it, man, and all that will come to fruition for you guys. So thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the offer.
Appreciate you. Take it easy.
Go Blue.